everyone, Shao here, and today it's going to be a simple video comparing a DAS versus a NAS. Let's get to it. So to begin, what is a DAS? A DAS, or Direct Attached Storage, is a storage device attached to one computer, usually via a USB cable or eSATA cable. Typically, a DAS will show to a computer either as one big drive or separate drives for the computer to manage. What is a NAS? A NAS, or Network Attached Storage, is a computer attached to the network that shares storage space for multiple computers connected to the LAN, or local area network. Typically, a NAS will show to a computer as a network location, which can be mapped as a file path or drive. So what's so different about them? Well, the differences rely or come down to availability, complexity, and of course, speed. To begin, let's talk about availability. For a DAS, it's only accessible by the computer it's attached to. We would simply plug in the DAS via USB or eSATA. A DAS just needs that one cable to connect to the computer, and then obviously a power cable to power it. A DAS does not have updates as it is a simpler device. However, the accessibility for a NAS is a little bit different. A NAS to be accessible by all computers on the same LAN simultaneously, which allows you to share files between computers a lot easier, as well as access a shared amount of data. The NAS needs to be wired via Ethernet to the router at all times to be visible to other devices though, so it makes having it actually set up a little more complicated. Additionally, a NAS needs no LAN issues to properly work, so all the switches and routers need to be functional at all times, otherwise the storage goes down and is inaccessible for a short period of time. A NAS could go down as well though for storage when it's updating occasionally. Next we have complexity. A DAS is simple. It's a simple device. Configuring the DAS is as simple as usually flipping a few dip switches to choose your preferred RAID. Now RAID is simply a way to make multiple drives to act as one drive and also include redundancy if wanted. As well, you would just simply plug in the DAS when ready to the computer and it's all set up. In comparison, a NAS is moderately complex. A NAS needs to be configured properly with users in the user interface software, as well as RAID, which is not as simple as dip switches usually. A NAS needs to be connected to the LAN at all times, and a NAS needs updates and maintenance through software. While we're in the middle of the video, definitely like and subscribe if you want to see more content like technology. Now I do plan to have project videos out, as well as simpler tutorial videos out as well, but also these slideshow presentations because they are pretty simple for me to do with the limited time and resources I do have. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let's get back to it. Now, one of the most important things for a DAS and a NAS is speed. A DAS is limited by USB or eSATA, which is the connection used to connect it to the computer itself. USB usually ranges between 480 megabits per second to 10 gigabits per second. Now there are some that are higher, like USB 4, which is a new USB standard that goes up to 40. However, that is usually not very common on most devices as well as DASs. Additionally, a DAS probably will not use the throughput of a whole 40 gigabits per second, so usually it tops out at 5 or 10. Typically, a DAS is connected though via USB 3.0, which is about 5 gigabits per second. eSATA, on the other hand, is limited to about 6 gigabits per second, as it's the same limit as actual SATA 3. For a NAS is limited by the LAN connection. LAN connections range a lot, but is typically 1 gigabit per second, 2.5 gigabit per second, or 10 gigabit per second. All network devices such as switches, network interface cards, and more need to match for the proper speed. If any one of these are incorrect, such as a mismatch, speed is limited to the lowest common denominator, which is usually 1 gigabit per second. So, to review, a DAS is accessible only by the computer it's attached to, unlike a NAS being accessible by all computers on the same LAN simultaneously. Moving on, DAS also is a simple box with RAID abilities, while a NAS is more or less an entire computer, which comes with all the complexities of an entire computer. A DAS is limited by the USB or eSATA for speed, while a NAS is limited by the LAN connection. Now, for use cases, I would recommend a DAS for anyone that is a one-person workflow, such as myself. However, I do use a NAS more because I share files with family members. But for workflows such as either video editing, photo editing, and everything else, if you are the only person accessing the data, a DAS works perfectly fine. Now, as I was saying, for NAS, if multiple people are accessing the data at a single time, it is more important to have a NAS, which is what I have in my household. It is best for multi-people workflows. So here are some of the terms that might be important to know, which is LAN or local area network, the network computers connect to before leaving the internet or using the internet. eSATA is more or less SATA. It's called external SATA, I believe, which is a connector used to connect drives to a computer. RAID, as said before, it allows multiple drives to act as one, with priorities being either speed, capacity, or redundancy. And then for reference of what a gigabit per second is, 1 gigabit per second is roughly 125 megabytes per second. As well as the megabit speed being USB 2.0, being that 480 megabits per second, which is roughly 16 megabytes per second. So I just want to say thank you for watching this video if you made it this far. Definitely like and subscribe, as the next few videos are probably going to be slideshow presentations, as very low budget. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed though. Definitely have a nice day. Take care.